Hi, everyone. Welcome again to my virtual campfire. Alan Warren, the RV Wingman here. Thanks for joining me today. If you're an RVer, I want you to stick around till the end of today's video because I'm going to be playing a voicemail message. I'd like to get your thoughts, your input on it. But I had a few people recently say, "Hey, Wingman, why don't you start doing some more pontificating about life, about big topics?" And so that's what I'm going to start out today's show doing. So today I'm going to be talking about eBay. Yes, eBay. I'm going to talk about the insidious nature of today's TV shows and about our culture. I'm going to tell you about a movie that I saw recently, and I'm going to take you back in time just a little bit. So, if you're new to the channel, I hope you will stick around. I do a lot of this pontificating around our virtual campfire. I want to begin by saying that I call this a virtual campfire because I think campfires are magical. I truly do. I think that they strike something deep inside of us, something visceral that connects us, brings us together. Campfires throughout time, back in the days of the caveman, back in the days of the cowboys and Indians, people planned their strategies around campfire. They planned their strategies for war, for peace. And I think today's campfires are welcoming and necessary thing for people to experience. I think around campfires, we are able to relax, shut off the outside world for a little bit, able to come together. I love a good campfire. I think that around campfires, we can present ideas and thoughts that might be better accepted, more warmly welcomed than when you're just out there talking in public or when you're, doing things on social media. I like the peace, the quiet, the close connection with other people around a campfire. So that's what I try to do here on Wingman Wisdom. I want to tell you that I am a very opinionated old guy. I don't have all the answers. I've got more questions than I do answers. But I want to begin by talking about the insidious nature of television, today's television. But it's not just today's television. I believe that you have to ask the question, does culture influence TV or does TV influence our culture? Think about that for a minute. If you're an older person like I am, I went back and I looked through time and I'm going, things have changed so much. And that's not always a bad thing. I don't want to stick to the things back in the 1950s or 60s, but I don't want to abandon them either. So, that being said, I saw a movie recently by Kevin Sorbo. If you know who Kevin Sorbo is, you know what a cool guy. You probably think he's a cool guy. I do. And I'm going to talk to you about that. But first, I saw the story. I said, you know what? I'm going to go see that movie. And then it made me reflect on a lot of things. How many of you grew up in the 50s or the 60s, even the 70s? If you watched any TV at all, take a look I pulled a little clip and look how parenting, look how fathers have changed over the decades. Just look. And this is my opinion, of course, but check this out. I put this little string of videos together. Back in the 50s, there was Father Knows Best. I was a little bitty boy in the early 60s, but I remember that show being on TV. And then fathers changed. And this was a cool show. It was funny and good. But look at this dad. Whoop. Remember that? Dads were goofy, but they were also that we didn't abandon the role of a father. But this guy was a widower. Remember? The rifleman. And they had touching stories about values. And then we morphed into there's a story of a man named Brady. And there they are. And so these mixed families, I'm not saying that this is bad, but look how this has changed. And then remember this is 30 years ago. Look at the dad. He's a slob, a lazy, opinionated buffoon slob. And today, what are TV shows teaching our young people, teaching us? And you may say, well, I'm oblivious. That's not going to influence me. I wouldn't be so sure. I think that this stuff influences all of us. I think that whatever we put into our psyche, whether we consciously think about it or we're just around it, it morphs us. It's a creeping normalcy that turns us from being this father knows best, and father doesn't always know best. For crying out loud, that's a stereotype. But that father knows best. Those people had values, principles. Those principles I don't think should change, but they have changed. So that will take you to let me show you the story that kind of made me go down this track of mine. This is Kevin Sorbo. This was a story called Advice for Men from TV Hercules. Bring back masculinity. In mythology, Hercules is a hero famous for his strength and bravery, a protector, a classic man's man who back in the day every little boy would admire and want to emulate. In real life, Hercules was played on television by actor Kevin Sorbo. That's him on camera here, who says it's time for guys to start acting like real men again. So he's producing movies and books to get that message across. And I read this back at the end of first part, I guess, of this month, first part of November, and I saw that he had produced this movie. And I don't go to many movies, I don't, but I went to Kevin Sorbo's movie, and this is a story about it. It says Sorbo, who left woke Tinseltown behind for Florida, saying truth is kryptonite in Hollywood, talks about how the portrayal of men on TV doesn't exactly inspire guys to be masculine. The liberal narrative is very evident in many current TV shows. Every sitcom seems to have a fat, lazy husband. And over the years, the media's promotion of the sensitive beta male has seeped into our culture. Does this rub you wrong? Is it, do you disagree with this? Can you even see any point of view? Can you share this point of view with Kevin Sorbo? That's why I went back and I look how TV has changed since I was a little boy. And now it's even more so. Where is it going to go in the future? I mentioned earlier about, father knows best, and father doesn't know best. I don't know best. I just know more than I did because I've lived longer than I had. I think that with age comes hopefully humility and some wisdom. And so I went to go see this show, but before I do tell you about the movie, let me continue. It says he feels that the decline of masculinity has a root cause that can be traced to the way children are raised. Everything starts with parents. It's important to have a dad and a mom raising children. Kids watching TV think dads are not important in a family. Do you see that? Do you agree? I certainly do. Dads are fat, lazy buffoons. They're the stupidest one on the TV show. They are. They have been stereotyped to being able to, they're selfish and blind and and the butt of jokes. And why do they do that? It sells. But what kind of a message does that inject into people? Don't think that you or your children, they'll never get that message. They can watch it, but it's not going to affect them. So Kevin Sorbo and his wife, Sam, they have a production company. They produced this film, and I read about it and bought tickets to go see it. And we went to a small theater, and there's probably 200 seats in the theater. My wife and I, she's like, what are we going to go see? I said, I don't even want to tell you. And she said, what is it? I said, I'm not going to. Is it Barbie? No, it ain't Barbie. You'll find out. So the movie starts, and it is called Miracle in East Texas. If you've seen Miracle in East Texas, type 1. If you haven't seen it, type 2. I saw it. My wife's like, oh boy, it starts. And at the end of the movie, she's like, this was awesome. Awesome. And it was Kevin Sorbo. He was the director. He was the lead actor in it. But it was a story where the good guys win, the bad guys lose. But it was a fun story. It didn't have any symbolism. How many of you out there watch a TV commercial or a movie, and the movie's going along, and all of a sudden they throw in some weird character or some great character, but he just happens to have this really dark side, which is just perverted as ever? Why do they do that? Oh, everybody has a dark side. It's normal. It's not normal. It goes against what our values, I believe our principles should be. The people that are being perverted. I look at kids today. You wanted more pontificating. Here's the pontificating. And I will get to the RV call in just a minute. I think that our values have changed so much that we are so disconnected that around the campfire, literally around a campfire, you can have these kind of conversations. What's wrong with having respect for other people? Well, what's wrong with being open-minded and letting kids decide what they want to be? Well, it's just wrong. Some things are just wrong. And I salute Kevin Sorbo and the kind of products and movies that he is working on and putting out. But I mentioned that there was like 200 seats in this theater that my wife and I went to. The sad thing, Maybe 20 people were there. 20. And they were all old people like me. There were no young people. What is the answer? I don't know. I think the answer, is Kevin Sorbo because he's trying to change the world. He really is. He and his wife are trying to change the world. My wife was saying, "Well, what are you going to talk about today?" I said, "That movie." I said, "Kevin Sorbo's trying to put toothpaste back in a tube." She goes, "That's stupid." I said, "That toothpaste is values, it's principles. He's trying to shove them back in the tube. It's really damned hard to do, but he's at least trying. And I want to at least try to not even try to put something back on track. I think it's just either pure ignorance, willful blindness. I don't know what it is, but we have to try. I think that to support people like this, programming like this, is important. Young people aren't attracted to this. Why? Because we've got them conditioned to be attracted to all this perversion. I'm not trying to come across as some Puritan. I promise I'm not. But it's just awful sad to me. It's damn sad when I see what's happening and I look back in time and I see that people can't agree on anything. I promise you, at least it's my belief, that if we spent more time around a campfire and listened to other people, even other people with different points of view than yours and mine, that we wouldn't get in their face and "You're a stupid idiot." We wouldn't do that. We'd be respectful. I would hope. I've never been around a campfire where it was that kind of behavior that we see online. It's awful. At least that's what I think. Let me know what you think. You think this is a subject worth talking about? Or should I only stick to RVs? Because if all you want me to talk about is RVs, this is not the channel for you. I do love RVing. I'm a former campground owner. I've loved RVing and camping my entire life. I love most of the people that do it most of the time. But there are things a whole lot more important than RVing. At least there are to me. This is one of them. That creeping normalcy. What can we do? What do you think we can do to try to do what Kevin Sorbo's doing? Try to do maybe what I'm doing. Trying to encourage us, just slow down. Take your foot off the gas pedal. We don't need to go, how much crazier and more perverted can we be? Having our kids dress up like furry little animals and tell them that's good. Yay. Do I show my age? Yeah, I do. But I think with it, I show my principles. And I worry about what our young people today, even my daughter, my grandchildren, what kind of principles they're going to grow up to have. I often ask the question, why do we do what we do when we know what we know? We know this stuff we're putting into our brains is not good for us, don't we? Why do we do it? We know that getting into debt and buying an RV and putting a 20-year note on it is not smart, but people go do it all the time. Why do we do what we do when we know what we know? Oh, I want to talk to you a little bit about, let's see there's Kevin Sorbo from the movie. The movie, again, it's Miracle in East Texas. I don't know if it's still showing. If it is, you ought to go see it. It's a cute movie. It was cheap. There was nobody at the theater. I wish that it would have been more crowded. But his wife, Sam, is just awesome. And she talks about, let's see, where is it? And here, I must have passed it. Kevin Sorbo's taking a literary approach to teach boys about masculine roles. And that's another thing. Boys. When did boys start becoming such beta males? Such little, nice, real sweet, pretty. But when did they become what they are today? I'm not saying that I want to turn boys back to the 1960s where we all play with our pocket knives and throw them in the dirt. I'm not saying that. But can you not see the gradual? And we probably can't stop it. It's like trying to stop the wind from blowing, trying to stop the tide from coming in. It's coming. All we can do is prepare for that. That's my thought. Try to put toothpaste back in the tube. Try to push a rope. Well, that's the wrong way to do it. I know. But somebody's got to try. That's what I try to do. So as the wingman, here's what I do. I try to watch your back. You are important to me. This community is important to me. Like sitting around a campfire. I care about you. I do. I don't have all the answers, but I'm not going to lay down and be a nothing and let somebody just run over friends of mine, friends around this campfire. So I have an email, I have a voicemail, and I love hearing from people that if you have a situation with your RV dealer, your manufacturer, maybe with life, I don't know, and you just want to hear somebody else's opinion on it, I am here. I want to be there for you. If not the person, you don't have to listen to everything I say, and please don't do everything I say. Please take responsibility for your own decisions, your own behavior, good or bad, but open your mind. Think of it as sitting around a campfire with other people that share in that passion of peace and connection, where you can hear things, you can hear nature, you can hear others. It's more than just the specific words people say. When you look at somebody, you look at them across that smoky fire, you connect with them. It's magical. So that leads me to today's voicemail message.
Hi, this is Deborah, and I'm in North Carolina. I'm calling in reference to an RV that's listing on eBay. I'm not familiar with how this works, and this is an RV that looks like it ought to be pretty expensive. It's a 2015 Itasca Navion, and they've listed it for like $19,000. I want to know if this is actually where the bidding starts to auction it off, or is this an actual accepting price that they're all willing to take? I don't know how to go about finding this answer, and I thought maybe you might could help me. Please give me a return call if you can. And like I said, it's a 2015 Itasca, Itasca, I think, Navion, and they're listing it for $9,000 to sell on eBay. And I'm not familiar with how eBay sells this, so I just wanted to follow up, and I can't get an answer out of the lady that I am corresponding with. If you could help me with that, I appreciate it. And once again, this RV is for sale on Facebook through eBay. Thank you.
All right, so here's my take. Don't do it. That's the short version. My response, don't do it, Deborah. I don't care. I don't care if it's a $50 RV. I don't care. It may be legit, but I'm telling you, if you don't know how eBay works, don't start out with a RV. Don't do it. The internet is rife. Facebook Marketplace, what is it? Craigslist, eBay is rife with con men and con women, scammers, and they feel so good. They do. She said, I think it was like 19,000. She said one time, and then 9,000 another time, or vice versa. And so I don't know what the price is on this, but I would be very cautious. If you're going to buy anything on the internet, first off, don't give out any of your personal information. Secondly, don't ever buy anything sight unseen. Don't give a deposit on something sight unseen. That may be the last time you ever see that person you're trying to communicate with. Don't do it. Check out references on eBay. There are people, the dealers that I work with, the Cheyenne Camping Center has got 1,300, 1,500, whatever, 100%, and they're all verified. Perfect score, excellent reviews. You want to buy from somebody like that? I would say it's probably pretty solid. But if they don't have any reviews, don't do it. And don't take somebody's word for it. The problem here is, Deborah, is that we want something so badly. Those images that we see, oh, look how pretty those images are. That's only how much money? And your brain starts playing tricks on you that it's okay. I can't possibly be taken advantage of. I'm not stupid. Well, I ask, are you sure? Because I think I'm not stupid a lot. And then I just learned that, you're a fool, Alan. I try to be balanced somewhere between being a wise person and being a complete opinionated idiot. And I vacillate back and forth. The problem is sometimes I don't know when I'm doing that vacillation. So, Deborah, don't do it. Find somebody that you can count on, you can rely on. Don't buy anything sight unseen. Don't ever send money to somebody that you haven't actually talked to them. All they are is a bunch of digits on a text message or a email. Don't ever do that. So that's my take. What would you tell Deborah? You think, never happened to me yet. So I want to hear from you. Thank you very much for joining me today around this virtual campfire. This is what I do. And again, check out that movie, Miracle in East Texas. as you're watching TV, next time you go and watch TV, and by the way, what are your favorite TV channels? What do you like to watch? Are you a sports person? I'm going to date myself. You know what I like watching? Me TV. I like Me TV. I like watching old westerns from the 60s and 50s. I do. And I probably shouldn't say this because I'm going to lose my man card. I think I lost that a long time ago. But I like watching Christmas movies, movies that make you feel good. But I'd like to know what you like to watch. Thank you. I know today's video went on a little bit long, but I rambled all over the place, but give it some thought. And if you would, join me again for another campfire conversation here on Wingman Wisdom. And if you get the opportunity, go out and sit down around a campfire with somebody. I promise you, when you're sitting there, it's quiet, isn't it? Listen to nature, listen to each other, feel it. There's a spirit, almost a reverence, I think, that we feel, all of us feel, when we're around that magical, primitive campfire. All right, thanks for joining me. I'm going to jump out of here today. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman. Be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home. I'll see you in the next video. Hi, Alan Warren here with an important message to those who are buying or selling an RV, and you'll want to do it the right way. Download my free RV report. It will save you thousands of dollars and help prevent you from being ripped off. You can view and download my most current report right now at freervreport.com.